Hi and welcome to the OnePort training session for intended activity requests. So I'm going to be focusing on non-vessel activities and those formerly known as permits within the port. There are two main ways to get to make an intended activity request for a non-berth activity. The first one is through the port schedule. And then from the port schedule, you can go to the berthing schedule, which will just come up in a moment. Okay, so from this berth schedule here, you can see that we've got a number of vessels in. We can click on any berth that's empty. We want to go to, let's say, berth 107 today, right click and new non-vessel activity. And that'll open this window here. And you can start putting in your non-vessel activity or your intended activity request for a non-vessel. And then we can go that way. There's another way to do it as well, and that will be up in the port schedule again. And then you want to go to Port Kembla non-vessel activities, and that's the schedule for that. It shows you all the activities that are occurring in Port Kembla over a certain date range, and you can also put the information in that way. You'll see that in a moment. Okay, and we can see the Port Kembla non-vessel activities schedule. There's a number of different operations occurring, locations, and events. So you can see the subjects here, what they are, the locations, and the purpose. And so what I can do is from there I can do add a new non-vessel activity. And so in here we've got the intended activity request, and this is where we can put in some information that is quite helpful. So you can see in the grey out area here just those subject, and that's actually what you write in the activity here. So off works due to damage. And then we can look at that, and we can go to the purpose, and we could say berth maintenance. The start time will be tomorrow, because I'm booking it 24 hours in advance, and it's going to be midday. And then it'll carry on through. It's very big work, so we'll carry on through until 1300. Location, then we can go through to our location and put where we want to go. Let's say it's the 107 berth. Now with this, it's no longer a requirement, but you can put it the latitude and longitude, and that will be quite a helpful function a little bit later on when we will have a chart of the terminal itself, and we can have the exact location of where you are if you're not working at a wharf and you're in fact out in the middle of the port. Working areas, let's say it's 25 meters because it's pretty dangerous, and then the contact company. Obviously, you want to be putting in your company name here, and the contact person is the company man, and the phone number, and then email address. Now with this email address, it's usually going to be the same email address as your login. So you can see it's slightly grayed out in the back there that I'm BTS UAT testing role. So it will send it to the email address connected to the company of the role that you're logged in as. So even if you put the email address of the company that's doing the job there, which is great, but the confirmation will be sent to your email address. So you do need to remember that. So that's in. I've intended activity requests, but what we want to do now is actually fill out that form. So we can go into that one, and then our activity request for a non-berth, you can add a plus, and this puts up all the information. So the request type, what are we doing today? We're doing some sort of work under inspection of a ship. You got your tank washing, you got all the different permits that included specifically for ships, and then obviously specifically for non-vessel activities. So we're doing impact of safety of navigation, And then from this information, we need to answer these questions below. So it's occurring tomorrow. It's from midday. And then tomorrow again. And then the description of the work. Working on damaged wharf. So that you'll save that in there, and you can see now that this will come in here. Impact to safety on navigation. It's a notification, and the status is requested. So now that will get sent through to your email address that you've requested it, and there'll be a confirmation that is required by a VTS before the movement is approved. So I'll save that and close it, and you can see that now work to wharf damage 107 maintenance 12 o'clock today, tomorrow, correction, 1300 tomorrow. There's the company name and number and an email address if required. And if we go back into the berth schedule, so it's on the 107 berth, and have a look, it will show us on the berth schedule that there is an intended activity request for that berth for that amount of time. So it will be a small area because obviously they're split up in 24 hours, but we can go into 107 and see that tomorrow. Click on that, and we've got a non-vessel activity, wharf work due to damage, and how it is, intended activity request, yes. So there is an intended activity request for that. That will be sent to your email address and also to VTS to be confirmed prior to the work commencing. Thanks for your time today, and we will continue on with the training shortly.